Well,
yeah, I moved around tonight so you could see a little better.
I did not get yours, Barb. No.
okay.
Yeah, Doug,
I have 7:01. I think we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Go through the roll call. Jenny Olney.
Here. The Whitmore Lake, Northfield Township, Washtenaw County.
Thank you. Dana Forrester. I haven't heard from her. Have you? Anybody? No? Okay.
Mr. Tex.
There she is.
She's in? Okay.
Dana, you were just called on. You're muted.
I'm here. Hi, Dana.
Hi.
Are you in Whitmore? Are you in Northfield Township?
I am.
Michigan?
Yeah.
And Iaquinto? So I haven't heard from her. Bridget Kasmenn?
I'm here. Northfield Township. Hi. I was able to make it.
Matt Ritz?
Yep, I'm here. Royal Oak, Michigan.
Ken Dignan?
I am present in Northfield Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan.
Jack Secrist?
Also here in Northfield Township, Washtenaw County.
Denise Kabisch? Okay, I'll talk about that later. Let's see, who am I forget? Kristin Hatfield.
Present, Hamburg Township, Livingston County, Michigan.
Okay, and if I didn't forget anybody else, myself, Barb Griffith, Northfield Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan.
And me, Doug. Yeah, Doug.
Doug, I wrote down that I already called on you. You are here, right?
I am here, Greenock Township, Livingston County, Michigan.
Good, everybody. We definitely have a quorum. The next thing is the call to the public. Ken, do you see any public?
We have 3 members of the public. If anyone would like to address the board, please raise your hand at this time. Give them a second here. I do not see any hands raised at this time.
Okay, we'll get back to that. The minutes from the April 28th, 2021. Any comments on those? Questions? Kristin?
I just received an agenda, but not a packet. So if there's more materials, I haven't seen it. Just
okay.
Do I need to access them somewhere?
Jenny sends them about 2 minutes after we finish our meeting.
Okay.
But I did not include Kristin last time simply because I don't think you officially,
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Dr. Barb?
Yes.
Let the record reflect Ann Iaquinto has joined us at 7:04.
Oh, hi, Ann.
Where are you at, Ann? We can't hear you. You're muted. She's getting there.
Hi. Jesus.
Are you in Washtenaw County, Michigan?
Yes, ma'am. Northfield Township, Washtenaw County, USA.
I read the minutes. They seemed fine, and I would move their approval without reading them.
I would support that.
Further discussion on that motion? Hearing none. Those in favor of the motion by Secrist, supported by Dignan. Those in favor of accepting the minutes from April 28th, 2021 and dispense with the reading, say aye.
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 Those opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Financial report by Jack Secrist.
Okay, a couple of items. One, the regular monthly financial report is pretty much as it was last time. We didn't spend any money in the previous month, so we have $32,688 approximately in our account still. So I have nothing else to add there. We have a proposed budget for 21-22 fiscal year. What we did, because we don't have any money, is pretty much do the identical budget to what we had for this current fiscal year. So that basically provides small amounts for vendor fees and revenues from vendor fees and a few other things of maybe $1,000. We have $3,500 allocated for professional fees, which would be attorneys' fees for the among other things, the folks working on our defining the DDA district. A few other minor items, but basically the total amount that we would propose to spend is just $4,625 for this coming year. And that would still keep us at the end of the next fiscal year something over $26,000. So fundamentally it's the identical budget that we have for this current fiscal year, is what Barb suggested, and I certainly agreed with, and Yvette provided it to us. So there we are.
Okay. Any questions on that?
I do have a question. I heard Jack say that there's some budget for professional fees. Does that include things like conference registration, if that's something, we're able to do again in the future? Because I know that was when you went previously, it was really helpful.
The amount is for membership dues for the Michigan Downtown Association.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any further questions or discussion on the treasurer's report? We need to make a motion to approve that budget to submit to the township. And I know we don't all have it in writing, but it is identical to what we did last year. Right. And we can always amend the budget if we run into an expense that we want to change. So, do
you want me to circulate it somehow? Or, I mean, I've read you pretty much what's in it. There's not much in it, so.
I think once it goes through the town, it's approved by the township, then maybe we'll just get it into our paperwork. So is there a motion to approve the budget that Jack proposed for 2021-22 so we can submit it to the township?
Motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Jenny Olney, seconded by Dana Forrester. Any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
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 And those opposed say nay. Okay, thank you, Jack.
Yep.
Library report, Jack Secrist.
Okay, well, it'll be brief. We met last week. We dealt with the normal things. Two things I will mention. One, the electronic sign is moving forward. We selected a vendor. We've made a down payment. And I don't know what I showed you last time, but this is approximately what the sign would look like. Okay. And it will be pretty much in the location of the current sign, but it is going to be a little bit bigger than that sign, about a foot wider and maybe 4 or 5 inches taller. But that's what we're talking about. And the current sign's in front of the library. We're seriously discussing moving it over to near where the driveway into the library is, so that you can see the sign as you approach from Margaret Street. And we may well do that. The other thing that we worked on some but didn't complete was a diversity inclusion statement. The board of the library wants to develop a concise but clear diversity inclusion statement, and we worked on that. We'll probably approve such a statement at our next meeting. So that's all I have unless there are questions.
Thank you.
Barb, real quick, we never approved the the monthly financial report. Is that necessary?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the monthly financial report.
I'll support that.
Okay. Motion by Jenny Olney, supported by Ken Dignan. Those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Thank you, Jenny. Okay. Parks and Rec report.
Dr. Griffith, I had a
Yeah.
quick question for Jack. Or actually, Jack, I found out and made a connection with a new business owner in town on Main Street, kind of down across from the township offices there. And she makes signs. A matter of fact, she makes monument signs like the things we were talking about putting out in front of buildings.
The historical marker signs. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, historical marker type signs. So they do a wide variety of stuff, but that is one of the things that they do that's a specialty. And I'd like to take a chance to have a conversation with her, and wondered if you'd like to be a part of that conversation.
Yes, yeah, and maybe Zaley as well.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'll make sure to try to put that together.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Ken, is that a new business in town?
It is. Yeah, she renovated the building down there and has recently moved in there. They do a lot of hospital business. So they do a lot of signs, directional signs, protocol signs, things of that sort. But they also do specialized signs for like big events that are kind of might be going on. Even my understanding is like even convention signs. Like if you had, obviously there haven't been very many gatherings, but they've been really flooded with COVID directional signs lately doing things. But I want to learn more about her business. I had a conversation with her over the phone. It was a good one. I called her to get some feedback from her on her experience in working with the township as a new business. And we have great areas for improvement. Let's just say that as a township. We need to continue to improve. And but she was very willing to share, and she's very excited about being here now. And they've got good plans. They really do. And I hope to learn more about her business and share as time goes on. And who knows? Maybe someday we'll have her be a part of our DDA. I don't know. We do have openings still that are for business owners, but yeah.
Ken?
Yes.
I actually, if it's the person I'm thinking of, I can vouch for her. She does amazing work and not just signs. And she would be interested in serving on the DDA. So if you've got a vacancy you're looking to fill, I think she could add a lot to the group.
Is the name of the business and the person both secret, or can we hear these?
No, it is. Hang on, I've got it right here.
Little Fish Design.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Angela Matthews.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm excited when I learned that they do the historical marker. Anytime, I don't know, I'm a believer. Anytime we can keep $1 in the township here and help a business here, the better off we are. If it.
I will alert Zaley so that she'll be expecting to hear something about trying to put something together.
Perfect.
Thank you. Very good. Parks and Rec report, Doug Wilbur.
Okay, so I was out of town for the last meeting, but I observed a couple of things. The community garden, we have our sign posted now, and we have new bed material there, and I believe the community garden is full this year with people using the vegetable beds to create food. Also, I noticed today on the way home that the park area that they were out rototilling up some of the ruts and stuff from the past winter activities, planting grass, and also we had approved $2,000 to plant flowers on the park property and on the lakeside at the meeting prior. I didn't get a copy of the minutes from that meeting, but I know those are the current activities.
Wow. Do you know how they're going to water the flowers?
Nature. Yeah, so they're going to put in flower beds. They really plan, I mean, they put together a sort of like a sunflower seed area on the major part of the property. Also, they want to bed the little trail that circles the property with wood chips and widen it a bit so it makes a better walk path around the property. And then on the lakeside, just some areas of flower beds that are not all connected, but you can walk around just to sort of beautify the area. And so those are some activities going on there. And I think last meeting I reported that there's a real interest within the Parks and Rec to do farmers market for next year and try and put together the whole thing. So, and we're going to be extending our budget as well to encompass some of those activities.
Great. Any questions for Doug?
Barb, I just want to add one thing. I just want to give a shout out to the chief and one of the firefighters. Won't name by name, but they were the ones that ended up going out there. The firefighter volunteered his tractor and ground up the ground there and spread it out, and we're seeding it. So, the chief was able to put that together, and there's just a wide variety of things that fell apart that didn't get it taken care of earlier in the season. And chief saw that. One of his firefighters volunteered, and it's just the type of people we have here in the township, and we're very grateful for it. So if you see the chief, say thanks and ask him to pass that along to the firefighter that volunteered his equipment and time.
Thank you.
Yep.
Well, actually, good segue, Ken. You're next on the agenda.
Okay. If you hadn't heard, last evening, the Northfield Township Board of Trustees took up the Chestnut development at North Territorial and Whitmore Lake Road. And we held our public hearing, and the board passed and approved the preliminary planned unit development, or PUD, rezoning for the property. The property includes 61 single-family detached homes and 208 rental townhomes. Just a little bit of about the property itself. It's about 77 acres in all, with the design that was presented by Steve Grono, who is the developer. 42 of those acres are open space throughout the buffer zones and the various areas of the township, or various areas of the property. It was, as you might guess, a divided meeting and a divided board, but it did pass 4-3. And now he will proceed with final site plan approval to meet the conditions outlined by the planner and the engineer, and then that'll go back to the Planning Commission to see if he's met those criteria and come back to the board for final approval.
So, Ken, how many individual homes? Excuse me.
61 single-family homes, and that's in the preliminary plan. The preliminary plan is the concept, the idea. So it could be 64, it could be 59, but and then the townhomes are about 1,350 square feet. They're have 2-car attached garages. They're all barrier free. They're 100% barrier free. they're very, very nice. He invited folks up to his project up on up off M59 and 23 that he's done up there to speak to community members that live there. And it's a very innovative product. It's very new. It's very appealing to a variety of folks, empty nesters, young professionals, first families starting out. As you know, it's in this day and age, the housing market is absolutely on fire right now. And, for a young couple or a young family starting out to come up with that big downstroke to buy a house is pretty daunting. So this gives them an opportunity to have a maintenance-free home that, still has the nice amenities of, his product is very high end. So we look forward to welcoming Mr. Gronow into the community.
So all of these are ownership, the 61 plus the 208?
They're rental.
The 208 are rental.
Yes, they're rental townhomes. Yep. They will be owned by the entity that'll be set up to run them. They also on the 42 acres of various open space in various areas, they are envisioning a multi-use field. There will be pathways, walkways all throughout it. He will be putting in a non-motorized path from North Territorial northward to the far north corner of the property. I do intend to ask him if he can work with Mr. Leland, who he's buying the property from, to at least get that non-motorized pathway to 5 Mile. So then it can connect over to the high school. I think it's a great opportunity to connect to the high school there. It gives these folks walking distance, access to the community pool that's there. And it's a step. It's a step closer. The schools can then provide the connection as up closer to 6 Mile, and we will get there. It's going to take time, but it's making sure that when we have these development opportunities, that we put in place the infrastructure that eventually will connect us all. So, yeah. The other thing is they're not to compete, but he is looking at they are putting in a dog park as part of this as well over there, but it's going to be a competitive dog park. I didn't know that there was a difference, but it's a competitive dog park that'll be maintained by them, but it'll be open to the public. It won't be just their residents. And it'll be a small dog park and a big dog park, but they intend to have all of the competitive structures that you would have when you're taking your dog to competition. So I guess the agility stuff, that's a big deal these days. So, but yeah, it's exciting. And Mr. Gronow wants to be a part of this community. He does live in Howell, but he doesn't plan on going anywhere. He plans on being a part of this community long term with this development here, and he likes to be integrated into the fabric of the things that happen and go on here. So I'm sure he'd love any opportunity to participate. Great.
Thank you very much. Anything else, Ken?
Not at this time. We just got a lot going on in our downtown. If you drive through, take a look around. Lots of different construction stuff going on. I can't say yet who, but I can excitedly say that I now have 3 tenants for my building. 4 tenants for my building. Sorry. And I have 2 small offices that are 13 by 13 that we still have yet to fill, but I'm excited that it will come and the announcement will be coming down the road. But the demand for area in Northfield Township right now is big. We were stunned. We put things out on LoopNet. I could not believe the response we got. People want to be in our hamlet, and we just now need to take advantage of that. And I know Mr. Ritz is going to have some square footage there that I believe is going to be available. And it looks to me like Van's Archery, they put a big Nextel sign up. I was a little confused by that, but I guess Nextel is relaunching as a cell phone company again. As a completely new cell phone company with push to talk, but I don't know. They didn't file any paperwork with the township, so they put up a sign without a sign permit. So we got to figure that out and have a conversation with them. But we welcome the excitement. We welcome the businesses. I'm very excited that we're seeing these kinds of changes happening.
Great.
One comment, Cecilia's trying to get in. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got in. I had to go through the invite that I had for last night's BOT meeting. So go figure.
Okay,
I'm here. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, Ken, is there anything else with the fire hall or whatever?
So we're in our due diligence stage right now. I haven't talked to the chef lately. I know he's going through his processes. We have to engage with our planner, as you may know or may not know. Julie Konecki has left McKenna. She was our planner. Julie went on to, I believe she's a planner for the city of Detroit now. Hold on.
Whoa, slow down. Stop.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. And so you guys can go on and I'll come back.
Okay. All righty. Well, I'll just talk about the bench project at this point. We're a little in limbo unless Kiwanis has contacted you in the past couple days.
They have not.
They're very short on manpower. And so the last I left it with her is that you're still holding the boards for the benches and wanted to know if they wanted them delivered somewhere or leave them with you. And I said, I'm assuming that you're shorthanded. And she said, huh? Like they are, I guess. And so I can't get you an answer, Jack, as to how soon they're going to get the boards, but I would like to get those benches fixed. But I mean, they offered to do the labor. So I think we've done our part right now.
Well, question on that, Barb. Do we have to wait for Kiwanis? Like, could we try to coordinate amongst ourselves?
You could, yeah. Because we have the boards, but we have to have the drill to drill the holes in. The hardware, I would imagine those are rusty bolts and things, so it might take someone really strong like Doug to help us get that taken apart. I don't know. But yeah, I guess we could.
I guess I would just like to first see within our group, could we even commit to trying to do one bench and seeing if it's something that we can take on ourselves rather than like wait, to hear back from Kiwanis. We've waited so long. We're so close.
Well, and I know that was the intent of Kiwanis, was to do one bench and see how it went first before they committed to the rest of them. But
if they're not able to commit yet to even doing one, is it? I understand if we can't. I'm busy too, but like among this group right here, right now, is there anyone that might have some tools? Could we try to coordinate a Saturday morning or something?
Where's the wood at?
It's in my barn.
I have a guy on my team that does construction. I
can give it.
Yeah, there's been an email going around. I thought it was on benches in like mid-June, maybe, for volunteers, or is that something different?
No.
Yeah, so Jackie's got people lined up, so she's starting a whole thing with this. She like I said, a guy on our team's got a bunch of tools for construction and stuff. So I think she's on this. I think she's lining it up.
Is it
Glad to hear.
Iaquinto?
Thank you.
Yeah, Jackie, yeah.
It's not routine because you have to drill the hole where the bolt is going to go through, but then you have to drill a wider hole to countersink the top of the bolt down below the level of the bench board. Now these are boards in quotes. These are composite. They're not wood. They're composite. But you need 2 different drills and doing the measurements to make sure you get them exactly in the right place on the boards to fit the metal framework of the benches is going to be extremely important.
Someone's going to need to make a jig.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, someone needs to make a jig. And
If we can pick a date somehow, email me. I'll give a hand with that. I get all the tools anyways.
Yeah, like I said, I think she's saying mid-June, I think is what she's trying to plan to do. So I think there's volunteers, painting and everything else going. So
Matt, would you mind, just for purpose of like meeting minutes, would you mind maybe if you have an email, just forwarding that to me so I can kind of link to it or include it in the meeting minutes, just so that we're all included as well?
Yeah, so I know what's going on because I could give a hand.
yeah, absolutely. I think it was sent out actually like a month and a half ago, and then we kind of just got around to responding to it. And she, like I said, so there is definitely something in motion going with it.
Okay, thank you. Good to know. Community relations, Jenny.
Yeah, so I actually don't have much to update on. I have reached out to Jen only just this morning because it sat on my to-do list for a little while, but just to kind of check in with see how the students are doing. So I don't have anything yet. I know at my last conversation with Jen Taylor, who is the business teacher at the high school, she did say, she's got some students who are really excited about this and committed to kind of working on it through the summer. So in my communication, I just simply offered we've been doing something with my own office, again, all virtually, what we refer to as co-working hours, where we all just kind of log on together just as like accountability buddies to kind of get some work done. So I suggested, if her and her students are interested in that, I'd be happy to join, and we can kind of get some of these interviews rolling. From my end, I don't know if they've begun the interviews yet. So if not, hopefully we can get some things going. Otherwise, I love that they were interested. And I think if they're not able to, work on it this summer, I get it. They're high school kids. We could, I will make it my mission to get this going on our end and recruit some of the community relations team to start calling out to business owners, because I think this is definitely something that would get a lot of traction on our social media and for our efforts to really just promote a sense of pride. We've got so many new businesses coming in, which is incredible that I even get to say that. I've been on this DDA for a couple of years now, so it's exciting to see the new people coming in. It'd be nice to spotlight them too. So we'll see what we can do.
Thank you, Jenny.
I will add that I heard from one of the students for an interview. We haven't connected yet, but yay, someone reached out to me. So it's happening. I don't know who else they talked to, but I heard from someone. So that's a good sign.
I did too. I haven't confirmed a time yet, but I will.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Jenny. The banners for downtown. So the good news is that the brackets are being made now, and Bronners has them. They're called FiberFlex, so they're going to be more flexible to hold those banners. And they're $95 a set, the brackets. And I have 13 banners. And I think I showed them to you at a meeting. They're 30-inch by 60-inch. And it's a really heavy material, like an oil canvas type thing, very durable. So we have 13 of them at $95. I didn't commit to it, so he didn't give me the exact with tax and all of that, but it looks like $1,235 plus tax or whatever it would take to get them. If they would charge us a shipping fee, I might just offer to go up and get them at Bronners.
I'd be willing to.
Yeah, well, I'll go to Bronners, right? So I told him I would talk to you folks tonight. And if we decide to do this, we at least have the Christmas holiday type banners. They don't say Christmas, they say season's greetings and things like that. And we would have 13 of them to start with. And it's just a matter of getting them up and taking them down in a timely manner.
Do we need to modify the budget?
$1,235. I don't have that budget right in front of me. I don't know where we could, if we could find it off of that or not. We have streetscaping. We have streetscaping.
Yeah. Yes, we have $1,000 for streetscaping requested. So perhaps we should double that.
Yeah, because later on I want to talk to you about flowers too. If we're going to do anything with flowers, so perhaps we ought to amend our new budget to take 1,000 away from something else and put it in there.
Might I even suggest like tripling that? Because the fact that we have like seasonal, like season's greetings banners is wonderful. But I would like, if we're going to get the brackets, then I would like us to look at other banners. We've talked about ones that, promote maybe the school, Whitmore Lake Trojans, or Welcome to Whitmore Lake. My husband had shared with me something his small town is doing where they have like hometown hero banners, which I understand like might not be as reusable, but what an opportunity to really, encourage, just offer some thanks to, local vets. So Kristin, did you have something?
I was going to piggyback on that. When I was in South Lyon, the boosters themselves paid for the banners. So something to think about, if you reach out to some of these parent groups, they probably have more money than the DDA, sadly at this point, or more for decoration. They would come down and decorate the storefronts, put things in the windows, and do the banners. So a way for us to get more decorations and not have to pay for them.
Or do you know, can we get other banners that are pre-made for those brackets still?
Yeah. So this is what we have, and they're such good shape too. All of this type of thing, but the height would matter too because the brackets are adjustable. So you could get smaller banners, like half that length, but just say Whitmore Lake on them or whatever. It would save us a lot of money. So I can't remember. It was 2006 apparently when we bought these. This is what Bronners told us. I don't remember what those cost, but yeah, you could get any banner you want for that.
Well, do we need 13 brackets if the brackets can be used for different banners?
We'd have all 13 up at the same time. If we want to decorate Main Street with them.
So, but we could then use those brackets for other times of the year if we had other banners.
Oh yeah, definitely. The banners slip on and off and tie on and that clip on.
Are all the banners the same size?
Well, hello, Denise. I didn't know you were with us.
I am.
Okay. No, all of the ones we have are. Yeah, all the ones we have are 30 inch by 56 or 60 inch.
Yeah, the new one's the same size?
We don't have any new ones. We're using all of the old ones.
No, the ones you talked about from Bronners. It sounded like you were purchasing new ones?
No, we're getting brackets for them to hold them.
Just the brackets.
We have the banners. We don't have any of the hardware.
Okay. And those are $90 each, huh?
The sets of brackets, yeah.
Yeah.
95.
Yeah. Do you have any interest in me checking about what downtown Ann Arbor uses? Because for the Potters Guild, we hang banners on Main Street, and they have these brackets that you slip on and slip off your signs, because we have banners that we use for the Potters Guild when we have sales. And I'm pretty darn sure they didn't pay that amount of money for them. But unless you're settled on what you have.
This isn't just a single bracket. There's
right.
They're
the top and bottom. Yeah.
And then they wrap around the telephone pole.
The brackets wrap around the telephone pole. Yes. That's exactly the kind that we use.
Okay, yeah.
For the Potter's Guilds.
Check into that and find out if you want to get back in touch with me. Obviously, we have a little time before Christmas.
It's up to you. I mean, if you want me to check, I'd be happy to find out, because I know for sure the good thing about the way these brackets are made is we don't have a problem slipping our banners and taking them off. And that's a big plus sometimes. I'm not sure what yours look like either, though.
It'd be the same kind of thing. There's a hem in each of the top and the bottom, and some grommets to hold and stuff.
Sounds similar.
Probably very similar, right? Yeah, I mean, I checked with the city of Brighton, the Brighton DDA. They pay a lot more than that for theirs. I went back to Bronners.
Okay.
So then I'm wondering, that was a great suggestion, Kristin, about reaching out to like booster clubs. While I'm wondering if it would be all right if on behalf of community relations, I reached out, got some contacts for local boosters to see if they would be interested in sponsoring different banners. Again, kind of like, Home of Whitmore Lake Trojans is what I initially had in mind. Is that okay? B, what size banners would we be looking into?
I don't think the length would matter. The width definitely is 30 inches. The length would be adjustable on the pole. And the ones we have now are 60, 30 by 60. But if we want to keep using the same poles, we want pretty much the same width of banner. And I'm sure there are probably less expensive banners than these. These are just really, really high, good quality. They were hung up and taken down and they look brand new. We did them for 3-4 years.
So I guess we'll wait to adjust the budget till we see a little bit more, or?
Yeah, let's do.
Okay.
Okay. So I really would, I'd like to get back to Bronners before our next meeting. If some people want to get in touch with me, Kristin, it was Denise was going to check with the Potter's Guild. If we could do that in the next couple of weeks, that would be great.
I could do it probably within the next couple of days.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
I have one other thing about banners that I want to mention. It's a little unrelated, but I talked to the Milan DDA to see what they used. They have a different setup for brackets, but she mentioned something interesting that they'll make banners with like high schoolers' art and some other things. And then they have people buy them back. So like the parents will buy them or something. And she says it actually makes money for the DDA, which was an interesting idea. And I don't know how that works as far as like income for us, but I thought it was kind of neat.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get sponsors that sponsor them to be made, and then the families can buy them for X amount. Yep.
Yeah.
Our revenues to date are pretty sparse, I'll have to say.
And, then that money can just go back into the sign program to add more banners year over year until you have a mass of selective banners.
That sounds like something a local tattoo shop might want to sponsor around artwork.
Annie's got her hand up.
Yeah. So Ken, the sign person that you were talking about, do they do banners?
Kristin?
I don't think she does, but we could ask her. I think she's more traditional signage. But if she doesn't, I bet she's got a good resource for somebody who could do some custom ones for us pretty cheap. Because once you start doing laser on vinyl, the price goes down. They don't last as long as the fabric ones, but it gets a lot cheaper.
It does, for sure.
Yeah, it would be kind of cool to be able to keep that local if we could.
Yeah. I'll shoot her an email right now. I'll copy Dr. Griffith and see what we hear back.
Thanks.
No problem.
Okay. So then the next item, I put flowers, question mark. Traditionally, that was our big program, and we spent probably up $3,000 a year really easily when we had a flower shop in town and we had money coming in and everything. And then it got to the point that it was a volunteer thing, and scrounge around and put anything we could downtown and in the flower pots. So what's everyone's thoughts on that?
Well, as someone who's planted them the last summer, people love them. It really makes people smile. We have a lot of foot traffic downtown, and I think we'll have even more with the dispensary and the new businesses in Ken's place. So I think we need to do it. So we need to do a budget. I'm happy to buy them and plant them. I enjoy it. And then if we can all volunteer and water them, it's up to you guys. I usually buy them at Alexander's or Home Depot, or, try to keep it local at Alexander's. But yeah,
what's the scope of the flower project? Is it, we've got those pots all over the place at 75 Barker.
We can move some of those.
And I realize a lot of those came from Poly Market, removing them. But, what about the entryways to the community? What about the DDA signs that say, welcome to Whitmore Lake? I know that in the past we've done the little island at North Shore and Maine. And, I just wondered, what is the scope, or what has the scope been of the DDA's flower project in the past?
Well, Dan Smith and I used to plant a lot of flowers in town. And we did the island. We did, before we put the stamped concrete on Main Street by the sidewalks, that was all dirt. So we planted flowers the full length there, and easily $2,500 to $3,000 worth of annuals. And then we had to rely on people to water them. But there was a hose at the flower shop. Now, Domino's, yeah. And there's no outlet there now. They took the water outlet out. The faucet that was outside that building is not there anymore. So we don't have a source of water other than, like Dina said, people walking along with watering cans. We just financially have tapered it down to putting flowers in those pots.
I like that idea of those entranceways. And I just drive around in my car with a huge watering can. And so I don't think not having a water source, is prohibitive. We can get creative. But I think that would be lovely, to spread it out to those areas. But those pots a lot of them are heavy and we need help moving them, or James can. But yeah, it's up to you guys, what you want to do.
Yeah, I'll make sure I grab our dolly and have it down at our building. And if it needs to be borrowed to move pots and stuff, we can do that. Wendy and I planned on planting the pots at our building for sure on our own. So we're that's coming up real fast here. But yeah, I think it's important. I think it is it makes it very inviting to come to Whitmore Lake, Northfield Township.
Well, I would like to say that I think we need to continue sort of a healthy budget for that type of thing, and even our anchor signs and stuff that are entryways, and also our pot program downtown. I think we should support that. And if any of the businesses that are now coming online could offer a spigot to help with the watering, I think that'd be awesome. With Matt and Dana and, yourself, Ken, that would be really great. So we could continue this on now that we're redeveloping. So I would entertain a budget, at least $2,000 for flowers throughout our hamlet, district area, which is the downtown area for this year.
Yeah, I realize I'm on the north side of downtown there, but there will be a spigot put in on the north side of my building at the walkway there. And obviously anybody wants to fill up anything there and use the water, you're welcome. You'll be welcome to. That'll be going in the next couple of weeks, but
I just said my contractor see if there's a spigot or if we could put one in while we're doing it. I mean, I have no idea how complicated that would be, but I mean, I think it would be pretty easy right now.
it's a water line, right? I mean, yeah,
We're going to do it. It's the time to do it. So,
Right.
for sure.
Say something, so hang on.
Ann?
Yeah, sorry. The township used to pay for the flowers that were in front of the ice cream shop in Marina, but I guess they decided to not fund that anymore.
I don't remember that coming before the township board. Was that last year or?
I can ask Sam. I don't know when that. Do you know when they decided not to fund this?
It was funded every year up until this year. It was taken care of by the township every year up until right now for the last 12, 15 years, because it's the entrance to the community and it does nothing but beautify the entrance. The township would go ahead and weed it, put plants in, and we would make sure it got water.
I wonder where, okay, I don't know where that came from. I don't know if that was.
A&M would do it every year. They've been doing the grass cutting.
That wasn't a grant, Ann?
No, it was not a grant. It was paid for by the township.
Hey, Sam, why don't you and I connect on that? And I'm putting the budget together for coming up here, and I don't know what that dollar amount was, but let's see if we can resolve that and let the DDA focus on around the in the other areas. We'll see if we can get that resolved.
yeah, we're going to put 2 spigots in, one by the road and one in the back. So we'll have some water.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt.
The flowers are always a great idea. I'm hoping that somebody also takes an interest in the cutting of the grass, because it appears that the grass in the roundabout area and several of our entranceways into Whitmore Lake is really overgrown and looks really unkept. And it doesn't seem like it gets cut very often. In fact, really seldom.
Yeah, it's USDOT or MDOT rather.
It is. Oh, that's all MDOT. Well, that's a shame.
It's all MDOT.
So do we need a motion then for like what Doug suggested about $2,000 for flower?
I thought that was Doug's motion. It was. Nobody seconded it.
I second.
There you go. Jenny can. Jenny's got it. One other thing while we're on this, well, we can come back to that. We'll come back to it. Move on with the motion.
Motion by Doug Wilbur, supported by
Jenny Olney.
Jenny Olney, to appropriate $2,000 toward the flower program. Discussion? I have one. We already have $1,000, Jack, for Streetscape.
Yes.
If we get $2,000 worth of flowers, Dana's gonna need some help. That is
That's a lot.
You don't have to spend it all.
I think I would spend just a few $100, like probably $300. I mean, the thing is, we can use it seasonally, because we kind of I tried to decorate the pots for Halloween, which was really fun, and then the holidays. So it could go through for the year, and it would be great to have help. But like Michael's and Joanne's all have really cool stuff that you can just pop in a pot, and it's fun. Valentine's Day, Yeah,
I'm happy to help, Dana.
That'd be great, Denise. Thank you.
So my inclination would be to leave the budget at $1,000 for Streetscape, but we can continue on if there's a further discussion on the motion.
The only reason I wanted to expand it is if we do take the anchor locations and start planning again in those areas, and for some reason we need to have someone help with that, then we have the leeway to do that. It's my only thought process on expanding the amount. We're talking about sort of beautifying our entranceways as well. And that's the reason I was expanding it to that amount. So
If we do flowers by the anchors, I would say they have to be in the flower pots, because in the past we tried putting them in the ground there and they got weed whipped all completely down. And they did a nice job cleaning around there, but they weed whipped everything.
Well, there, we can buy a few more pots and set them out there.
I have some terracotta pots that we bought. They're super heavy. The Chamber of Commerce actually bought them, and I probably have 10 of them in my barn, and they're heavy. They're, for me to pick one up, and I pick up animals all day long, I'd say each pot is easily 50 pounds empty. So if we want some really sturdy pots, I have them.
There's
So how many?
There's literally like 8 of them in front of 75 Barker.
Yeah, we have a ton of pots, but like if you outline some other areas to put them, we can move some of the 75 Barker ones over to those new areas. And we might, those terracotta pots I bet they would look amazing. So they might be a cool addition depending on, where these new areas are.
I'd like to get Ed to allow us to put a couple at least in front of Polly again. That relationship is on the mend. I will say that it is on the mend. It's going to be a slow walk, but we'll get there. That's, but I think that's, great. The other thing I just noticed is the roping around all of the anchor signs or the entrance signs, the rope that goes around it. It looks horrible, and I don't know how expensive rope is, but the little things that if we touch those things up here and there as we go along, it won't be a big cost, but yet it'll enhance those signs to keep them looking good. I know that they've been there a long time now.
So,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Does the rope need reattaching?
Well, I think it's dried out and shrunk up so much, and it's pulled out. It's fallen apart.
It deteriorated.
It deteriorated over time, and it's going to.
Yeah.
It's been more than a decade, hasn't it, Barb?
Oh
yeah. 20 years.
It's been a long time. I think it's just, and it's time to get new rope and nail it in. Oh, Ann?
I know somebody that sells rope. You'd like a quote.
Right. I mean, I can't think it would be that much to do the 3 signs, but.
Ken, would you measure the one at the church? The
Sure.
rope.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doug, would you measure the one over by the marina?
Sure.
And then we have the one at 6 Mile. On Iaquinto's property.
Imagine that.
Imagine it.
On my property?
Mm-hmm. Get measured.
And then we can look at that, and then you guys let me know, and we can see what the marina can come up with for a price for replacing that.
Yep.
Okay,
So then back to the motion.
Back to the motion.
Go back to the motion on flowers.
Yeah, I didn't think we ever diverted from the motion, but the category this falls in is streetscaping. So do we need to adjust the motion to make it clear that we are putting in a number for the streetscaping budget for 21-22 as part of the motion? I think we should do that. It's $1,000 now, so do we bump it to 2,000? And then the other thing I'll point out is that no matter what that budget is, anything we do needs to be approved by the DDA. So we may or may not use all the money, but we're not guaranteeing we use it. We'll have to approve whatever we do with it.
Once it's in our budget, excuse me. If we expand it, I think that's what we need to do, number one. Number two, once it's expanded, we can spend up to that amount.
Yeah.
So any bills that come through should just be paid and passed forward.
Yeah. So the motion then would be to make the streetscaping budget for 21-22 $2,000. Is that accurate?
Correct.
And that's enough to cover the brackets and the flowers?
Should be. Okay. Yeah. I would think so. Well,
No.
I think we said 12:35 for the.
we haven't, the brackets might be something else that we're going to have to do. And I think we ought to negotiate with the township for them to help pay for some of this, the signage stuff, the banners. So I think right now we shouldn't budget anything for the brackets.
I point out as well that we can amend our budget during the year as necessary.
Okay, so the motion is to change the allocation for in our budget to streetscaping to $2,000 from $1,000.
Correct.
Further discussion. Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Okay.
So can I just say, should I start buying? I mean, I figured after I have family in town this weekend, but after that I can buy flowers and plant, and then I'll turn in the receipts.
Yeah. You need some soil. I don't know if you need any potting soil.
I might need that. I'll have to assess, but Ken, you'll let me know the new areas and we'll coordinate that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for that. We're on board member comments. So I'm just going to go down the roll call. Jenny Olney.
Sure. Well, I got a list here. So going all the way back to the library report, Jack, I just wanted to just share my appreciation to the library for their D&I statement. It's sometimes seems like such a small thing, but I know from experience that those small things really matter and make an impact. And so just thank you to the library for giving that attention. I already stated I just welcome all the new businesses that are in town. It's exciting to see the excitement among the town and the people, and just really looking forward to seeing those businesses flourish. Matt, it's great to see literally inside your building these past couple of weeks, but lots going on there. I wanted to thank, we were talking about the local firefighter who, kind of used his tractor. And so I wanted to thank Chief Wagner, who is coordinating cleaning off the mural under the highway overpass. It was so dusty that you couldn't even see it. And it's such a beautiful mural. So I'm glad that the township is, again, just volunteering their time to cleaning that off. And I hope we can try to coordinate kind of redoing that Barker Road play path, because again, a lot of that got damaged from the snowplow this year. So Ken, I know that you're already thinking about that, but if there's an opportunity to get some volunteers involved, would greatly appreciate being a part of that. And Dana, same thing. If when you get around to getting flowers, if you want to maybe send an email through to the DDA group, I would love to help with that. All right, I think that was it on my end. So thanks all.
Thank you, Jenny. Dana Forrester.
Okay, I've got a few things on my list. I think, are we optimistic that we are going to have trunk or treat this year? Should we put that on the agenda for the next meeting? And
good idea.
And then I wanted to talk about two things. One, Ken, I know we talked about code enforcement at length last time. So I have been in touch with Chief Wagner, and as you guys know, and I know I've been down on these buildings, the series of abandoned buildings behind the former Staggold building. So Chief Wagner went and inspected, but there is no ordinance that allows fire inspections for abandoned buildings. And abandoned buildings are a real problem in this town. There's that house, the property's for sale right on Whitmore Lake. There's a huge abandoned house there. It's past.
That house, yeah, it's the 8 Mile. Are you talking about the one on 8 Mile? Or not 8 Mile, but Barker Road at the end?
Well, that one I know is coming down, I think you said, but the one near, so it's past Max Marina heading towards the DNR launch.
That one's coming out. That one's coming out too. That's the same owner.
Oh, it is? That's great.
It's coming down in the next 60 days.
Oh, thanks. That's awesome. So Chief Wagner suggested on that note that we change our ordinances or code enforcement to allow for fire inspections for abandoned buildings, because dogging some people out, those people behind the old Stay Gold building. Word on the street has it that they had an illegal grow operation and were running extension cords from that building into these abandoned buildings. And it's a fire hazard. If they catch on fire, all our buildings could go under. So, I would love to see some kind of change in the ordinances. Ypsilanti has it, is what Chief Wagner said.
Just so you know, we did get in that building.
Yeah.
The owner, once he received a notification, did call me immediately.
Okay.
I went over to the building the next day and walked through it.
Yeah.
There is nothing in the back of it.
Okay.
He knows it needs to come down.
Okay.
He understands that it needs to come down. I think for them it's a dollar issue, at least. I need to talk to Matt offline about that property because I don't think I'm getting the full story. And I know that Matt's had conversations with, or at least your group has with him in the past. I just, we do have to find a way to deal with those. We have ordinances in place, strong ordinances in place against blighted buildings, buildings that have windows that have holes and, their windows are knocked out of them. That just, you can't have that. And the thing is once it gets open for inspection, the fire chief can go in.
Okay.
When you do your inspection, the fire chief just happens to be there when the township is doing its inspection. So the building inspector goes through and the fire chief goes through. At that point in time, if the fire chief sees it, the fire chief can cite it.
Okay.
So we have to coordinate a little bit, but we are working very hard, especially on those buildings back there, and trying to figure out a workable solution. That building is now, that whole building is completely vacant now.
Okay.
The woman who was in there cutting hair found a new home. Yep. And so, that I don't know what they're thinking, but they've got to figure something out there, and the buildings can't sit in the state that they're in.
Yeah, because just adding to that, so the house thing, so I'm friends with a gal that lives across the street from there, and we hang out and we see people trespassing in that property all the time. And, those buildings, behind on Main Street, once these businesses start opening and rolling, there's a high risk of trespassers and bad things happening potentially. So besides being ugly blight. So yeah, I'm glad you're working on it.
Well, and yes, we have, I'll just say there have been incidences of squatting going on in our township. Yeah. So if it's a sheltered area, we don't probably see so much of that in the summertime, but we do have to address it, and we are trying to find that way. Dawn King, our new ordinance enforcement officer, had a planned time off, so she's off right now through, I think, I don't know, the right after the holiday, but she's back and forth, and when she comes back, and then Vidya is also doing ordinance enforcement. We've been very busy with it. There's been a lot of stuff that's coming down, and like I said, 9 out of 10 people or more are, hey, I want to be compliant. The bike sign is down. We're trying to get that old pizza house sign down. And then, the two bigger ones on my list right now are the Sunoco down on 6 Mile and the billboard for that, or the highway sign for that 6 Mile property. So that's coming down. And then the sign for the Northern Trellis, the highway sign that they have, should be coming down maybe it'd be the week after the holiday. Okay. So, those signs are coming down. It's taken a little bit of time. I wish that the Pizza House sign would come down faster. We're just not able to really get that person to engage, but most folks are very, very engaging.
That's excellent. And I don't want to take up too much time, but my last question is, it looks like Nextel moved into the Vans Archery building. What do you know about that?
I I know that those were put up in the middle of the night. Well, not in the middle of the night. They were put up after dark. I watched them put them up without a sign permit. And there's been no paperwork filed with the township for a certificate, or rather a zoning compliance. So I just found out today that Nextel is relaunching as a company, a publicly traded company. But that's all I know. I know that the township doesn't know anything about it yet. We will soon. So, yep.
Okay, you all set, Dana?
Yes, thank you.
I'm going to call on Denise next because there's a question in the question box. Are you there, Denise?
I am. No, that's not community soil. There's no community soil that's in there.
Oh, so he's thinking about for soil for the flower pots. I didn't understand exactly.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah.
Okay. That was the answer. Does anybody get the question? They thought there was a lot of soil in the flower box that Denise had planted that could be used for our flower pots, but it's Denise's dirt.
Yeah.
Okay,
Denise's flowers too. I do have a concern about the home across from the bowling alley that has been in constant disarray. It looks vacant, even though I know someone is living there. That house looks horrible out there. And I really hope the township puts some attention on working with the owner to upgrade that home, because it's right across from one of our businesses, which makes a difference. Other than that, and other than my concern about the grass not being cut in a timely fashion around our entrances and exits areas, it'd be nice if there were a way that we could work with MDOT to perhaps give us a little more attention so that we don't look homeless when we have our entrance and exit ramps not attended to. I've half thought about doing it myself, but I really don't think that's my job to do that. Other than that, I think things are looking really good. It's delightful to come home after being gone as long as I have and see changes downtown. I can't tell you how thrilling it is for our owner on Main Street to see a facelift starting to take place after I've been here about 20 years and basically been waiting for that. So I'm grateful for that. That's my end.
Did you have an answer?
I'm sorry, was that me?
Oh, Ken. Did you have something, Matt?
Answer for what?
The home on Main Street?
Oh, the home. Yeah. I mean, that's the one. I know which one you're talking about. It's right across from the bowling alley. Is that what you said?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That house looks so bad.
Yeah, and it's tough. There's some things we can do with a vacant home. There's things we can do with certain criteria for dilapidated homes, but do you know if it's owner occupied?
To the best of my knowledge, it is.
Okay, all right, because we are looking at a non-homestead rental property or a non-homestead property inspection that would happen on about either a 2-year annualized basis or a 3-year annualized basis for non-homestead properties that are out there, that they would require a safety inspection.
Are those things registered with the township?
The legal ones are. The illegal ones are not.
Okay.
But but we're also going through looking at creative approaches that may, I don't know. I've read about other communities doing a homestead recertification program that says, hey, you're listed as the owner of the house. Can you please provide us documentation of some sort? And that could be simply your driver's license with, your name and address at that house as your primary residence. And, you can flush out. I mean, there's a lot of homes in this community that are rental homes. A lot, I'm sure, a lot more than what we know. And, but
my concern is the one on Main Street that is in such high view.
Yeah.
From the lake and from the street.
Yeah. And the way we approach that is we talk to the owner and say, how can we help you to make sure this is done in a way? And sometimes it's a resource for them, but if they're unwilling, it can get very difficult. But we will cite them if there's stuff that doesn't meet code. It's just.
And does Whitmore Lake feel pretty okay about having an outhouse at the marina on the Main Street? Because that seems a little unusual to me also.
Yeah, that's a state licensing issue with the marina.
You say we have no recourse? Is that what you're saying?
Not saying that. I'm saying it's something we're looking at. It's again, these things are not simple. They're complicated. I'm hoping that with Dawn King being here 30 hours a week, that'll give us plenty of time to be able to really dig deep into these things.
Yeah.
And nice with her having
location when you come off the highway.
It is.
The outhouse just sits there in all its glory.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Denise. Ann Iaquinto.
Hey, the marina outhouse you're talking about across from Polly's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're the only marina that I know of on the lake. The other ones are just docks. Anyway.
Okay. Okay. Good point.
There. We have a real bathroom. So, anyway, so yeah. Thanks, Ken, for taking a look at what the township can do for the front of our building that they've kind of always maintained and had, or at least had Sam take care of, because it is an entrance into the township and will not look pretty if it does not. It's not part of our property. It just happens to be in front of us. We don't own it, so that's why the township was taking care of it. Just so you know. And yes, good job on getting some businesses in town. And Matt, things are looking good. I know the wires are going in. So yeah, hopefully opening will go smoothly when that happens. And thank Jenny and everyone for all their work that they're doing. I love the working with the high school stuff. And hopefully we'll get a call from those kids and be able to talk with them. But anyway, so thanks.
Thank you, Ann. Bridget? Are you still with us?
I am still here. Sorry. I just have a couple things. Jenny mentioned for Dana to reach out for planting flowers. I second that. I would most likely come with a toddler, but it could be we could have fun with it. So I'd be willing to help. And I'm wondering if we can add the farmers market to the agenda for next time. I know that came up with Parks and Rec. So I don't know when would be appropriate to start that conversation, but just wanted to bring that to the forefront again.
I think Parks and Rec is taking the bull by the horns on that.
Oh, so it's out of our hands altogether.
They have plans.
Okay.
Not this year because it takes a year to plan it, but they're pretty much set that they can handle it.
Got it. Okay, I misunderstood. So never mind then. That sounds great. I think that's all for me.
Okay, Matt Ritz.
Not much to say. Things are really going in our place. We had All-Star Alarm in there. They've done a great job. We hired a general manager. She's from Whitmore Lake. We got, a lot of interviews with people that are in the surrounding communities. So things are going really well and it's exciting. So we're hoping to be open pretty soon. So things like, I believe it's Trunk or Treat or whatever it is, and some of these other things, we can really start, becoming a part of these events and really start to help out. So we've tried to do some things here and there, but it's just been stuff everywhere. There's no windows in the place right now. We're trying to help out with whatever we can, but we're really looking forward to, the next couple months here, really starting to be a part of the community. So we're excited. And,
windows or not, it still looks great.
Yeah. And we got some nice signs coming. I think it's going to be really, really nice. And I think a lot of the blighted issues, and they might start going away. I mean, I totally agree with Dana and what she's saying, but they also might start going away a little bit with some of these businesses coming in, putting pressure on them, and maybe even whatever happens. But it just seems like things are really, really going well. So just everything. I mean, everything in Whitmore Lake, just stuff's going on everywhere. It's just it's pretty exciting. So
good times.
We can't wait.
Thank you. Ken, do you have anything else?
Don't.
Okay, Jack? Wake up, Jack.
Muted, Jack.
Don't know how that happened, but it probably just as well. So anyhow, I continue to be excited about our steady move forward around the community. It's great to see and be a little part of. Only thing I'll say other than what's been mentioned is I'd also be willing to help out with plantings and so forth. Just have to alert me 2 times, and I'll if I can be there, I sure will. That's all I have.
Thank you. Kristin?
Yeah, I know that we are members of the MDA, and just want to note there's a conference coming up that you can attend virtually. It's on June 4th. It's called Filler Up, Creating New Places and Empty Spaces, which isn't an issue for us right now, but in the future, I'd be interested in attending things like these. If it's in the budget or we can take turns. I've attended in the past. They've been very, very valuable. Just wanted to say that I agree with Bridget about the farmers market. I know it's a hot potato that nobody on this board seems to want, but I would strongly encourage us to think about it. The purpose of a farmers market is not just to sell food, it's to bring people to your community and highlight your downtown. And I think that's something we clearly need. And just wanted to finish by saying I'm going to be present at these meetings, but I'm going to be sitting on my hands for a little while, not volunteering for too much, because I'm scheduled to go in and get induced on Sunday, and hopefully we'll have a baby within the next few days after Sunday. So my hands are going to be a little full, but I will be present at these meetings. And once I get a rhythm and a routine back, be a little more hands-on volunteering. Oh, and last thing I noticed in the Q&A, someone had commented that the DDA minutes hadn't been posted since December 2020, and they were trying to read them. So just wanted to make a note of that.
Right. Jenny submits those right away, don't you, Jen?
I do. I honestly don't know if like Jennifer specifically is included on the email that I send. So I'll just make sure she is tonight. And I obviously have copies of all of them. So I can get them to her and get them on the website.
Hopefully with the new website, the way that it's going to work, we'll be able to have access to, if we need to update things like that. Meaning individual boards would have access potentially, but the new site will be coming online very soon. So,
okay. Anything else, Kristin? And congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you need a babysitter, I have an 18-year-old daughter that would be more than happy to help, I'm sure.
Thank you.
As would we in any way. So.
I'm just going to get this next couple of weeks under my belt, and then I'll be able to relax.
Doug, Wilbur?
Okay, I have a few things here. Garbage. We talked about that, I believe, in our last meeting. Has there been any resolution to how we're handling that on the Barker roadway path and the Parks and Rec area? Is the township making any effort there? I know we talked about, having suitable garbage containers and so on. If not, we should add it to our agenda for next meeting.
It should be on the agenda, I think.
Yeah, we did talk about it quite a bit last week, or last month. But I'll put it back on the agenda, but I think we need to we had all different feelers out. Right. You have someone, Ken, who, the bus driver.
This, you know, in concept, I've talked to Tom DeKaiser about that. And if it's something that they're open to and offered up as a possible solution, obviously we need to iron out details. You know, that's an option, but I think we really need to grab a hold of this and figure it out, because, you know, come we get into this summertime and, you know, I'm telling you, the amount of people that walk downtown right now is a lot, and it's going to get even more and even more and even more. And as we improve the park area and the business, all these businesses start to open, you're going to start to see even more people, and more people means more trash. And we got to have a way of dealing with it somehow, some way of accommodating it and disposing of it.
I mean, the township has given us a budget in the Parks and Rec that we were using a portion of that for garbage, but it's more the personnel to pick it up than it is the disposal. So we need to work this out. We have that area, the park area, and also the Barker area. Plus, if we're going to add a few other containers around the Hamlet area. So we need to kind of probably help push this to a resolution, I think. And maybe next meeting we can wrap that up. My next item is TIF. I think that should be added to the agenda. Updates. I believe we've hired someone to work with us on that very, very, very big subject. And I want that added to the agenda, and also updates on that. And do we have any updates?
I was going to do it with board member comments when I get to myself.
Okay. All right. Next item. Are we going to have any more activities other than trunk and treat? I thought the boat thing we did 2 years ago was really an awesome thing that we should continue on with. I think Dana worked with that, and it was a great thing. And maybe we can push forward on that item. And then the other item I have is the mowing. So there's been some discussion on Parks and Rec and through the township, 8 Mile entranceway and 6 Mile entranceway to Whitmore Lake. So it's my understanding that the state would not have any problem if the township paid to mow those areas on a consistent basis. So the township already does engage, I believe, a mowing service for a lot of the township properties and school properties. So it might be worthwhile for us to look into having them mow those 2 entranceways, probably on the southbound and northbound entranceways on those 2 exits, is my feeling on that end. I know it's possible. It's just a matter of funding. So
it is a matter of funding and understanding the scope of exactly being able to outline exactly what area needs to be mowed.
Right. Which would be pretty simple. It's just more the funding issue, I'm sure. But I think it's something we should look into. Add that to our agenda. I know it's came up in Parks and Rec. It's coming up here at DDA. I think it's a lot of our image has to do with the flowers, the progress that we're starting to make. I would just like to add those items as, sort of big items that we should be addressing. And that's it on my comments.
Okay, thank you, Doug. And then Cecilia, are you still with us?
I'm here. Yeah. So I have 2 little things to contribute. One is I want to reinforce what Ken said about having strong ordinances. We really did revise and update our ordinances in terms of, for example, days of warning and blight issues. Our problem is we really needed an enforcement officer. With Dawn in place, I think we're going to see a lot of progress. Vidya, I think, is a genius. So she's really been trying to do her best, but what we needed was an officer with resources to do her job. So I think things are going to turn around on that front too. The other thing is, as a beekeeper who works with combat wounded veterans, TSC is an amazing support. They work with what's called the Farmer Veterans Coalition, and they pour money into what they call the Market Day, where they have local folks come with products or crafts even. They support farmers markets. I wonder if they might be interested in beautifying the entrances to our township. It's certainly in their interest. Or at least giving us a deal on the purchase of plants. Alexander's, I'm just not going to go there. I think maybe we should talk about working with TSC because they've really been amazing, at least for folks like me in our township, and welcoming all local farmers and producers to their property to show us off. So I don't know who would reach out to them, but I think it might be worth it. And that's my 2 cents.
Cecilia, can I I'll email you if you want to get me their contact info, and I'll reach out and look at what they've got for flowers and beautification. I mean, I'm happy to do that.
Absolutely, for sure. And you can definitely talk to the manager. Actually, there are 2 managers, and I think they'll give you a deal. I mean, they're so good to us as combat veteran. I know they would give their local community something.
That's great.
Thank you very much. I guess I'm last here. The couple things I want to talk about is the attorney that we did hire to research the TIF boundaries and everything. The only thing that takes longer than working with an attorney is working with 2 different attorneys because the attorney we hired has had a hard time contacting the attorney that the township does the work with. And I'm kind of like in the middle and not getting anything from one side. So at this point, I don't have a follow-up. I do keep bugging them about it. I have really been researching what's called the DDA Enabling Act. And it does say that there are no shapes that are unpermitted. Those are the words they use. No shapes are unpermitted. So I really feel, I'll wait to see what the real legal thing is. But that I don't think our shape of our DDA district is an issue. It wasn't when we had it approved legally by the state, the county, the township, anybody. I think the only thing, it has not been kept cleaned up. What the assessors, we've had different assessors over the years. And when a property is no longer in the district or as a business, being used as a business, they have not been removed off the DDA list. And I think it needs to really be cleaned up. So we'll see what the legal thing is. I keep pushing them for, a legal answer on this. I'm sure we're very small fish for these attorneys that work with the big DDAs, but I'm still trying to stay on top of that. The other thing is continuing to do Zoom meetings. It's my understanding that they haven't reneged the state of emergency from Washtenaw County, correct, Ken?
That is correct at this time.
Okay, so we're planning on through this year, as far as I know, unless we change things, having Zoom meetings.
Unless conditions change.
Okay, and this is exactly, our veterinary association had a big Zoom meeting last night, and we talked about it, and nothing's changing. I mean, until we're 6 months out from the majority of people being vaccinated and everything, nobody's going to change any protocols. Which leads us to trunk or treat, which probably we could start working on, but I'm not sure about planning a gathering for the boat show. Dana, what do you feel about that?
Doug, I would love to do the boat show, but I don't have the bandwidth. Like, it's pretty late already. And I mean, potentially we could do it in August, but I've actually got a lot of stuff happening this summer. And the tattoo business, thankfully, has been just beyond crazy. The Washington Post just did an article about all these tattoo shops nationally just being slammed with business. I've been answering emails while we're doing the meeting because I literally get a new email every 3 minutes. I mean, I am not joking. It is crazy. So I would love to do it next year. Let's plan it for next year. And, we'll plan it way ahead of time, and we'll do the water ski show too. So.
Sounds good. Okay. I don't have anything right now. Does anybody else want to throw anything in before? Yes, Ken.
So at our last DDA meeting, Mr. Fink that evening did get all the documents that were requested over to the DDA's attorney that evening. So the DDA attorney should have everything he needs. If he is missing something and he lets you know what that is, please let me know, because Mr. Fink has been informed that this is a priority, and we want to make sure that we do everything we can to accommodate. We've got to get this situation with the TIF straightened out, and any way I can help with that, I want to.
Okay, so we should have some, hopefully, final answer by the next meeting then.
Yeah, and the key to that is going to be something that that Tom, the assessor, can use to say these are the properties.
Okay.
And how and for properties that are no longer tax generating, what to do with those. So that would be great.
Right. So we really need sort of like an audit there, I believe, Ken, throughout. Yeah. And along with there were some determinations that we were looking for from the attorney as far as the legitimacy. I really believe that the original outline needs to be, really scrutinized through an audit.
Well, we do something
justified.
We do something that's really unique in DDAs, and that is we leverage, or we capture 50% of some properties and 100% of other properties. And that has caused immense turmoil because nobody knows how to or what to account for on any given property, and whether and what does that 50% mean? What's it 50% of? Because it's not 50% of all capture. It's 50% of certain capture, because that 50% was not agreed to by all entities.
Oh, no, that shouldn't be the way it's addressed. It's either 50 or 100.
No, but,
okay, so the new properties that came in were 100, the existing were 50s. That's just the way it was defined.
Just the opposite, Doug.
Just the opposite?
Yep.
Yeah. So that
100 on the existing, 50 on the new?
Yeah, because North Territorial was virgin territory, and we would have captured a ton of money if it had developed the way it was planned to. So in negotiating with the Township Board, we agreed to do a 50% capture on undeveloped property as it became developed.
But apparently Washtenaw Community College did not agree to that.
They
really?
signed off on everything.
They did.
So we got to find that. I've been digging through files looking for that sign off, and I have not been able to find it yet, but I still have another file box to go through.
Okay. So let's progress forward on this whole issue.
Yeah. Alrighty. Our next scheduled meeting is June 23rd. Let me know ahead of time if you are not going to make it, if you can. And I'm sorry about the glitch on getting the agendas out again. The township apparently didn't sync the DDA emails all together. And so I thought she was just telling me she was having trouble sending them. I guess she wasn't sending them because she didn't have a DDA list all in one. So, and that's, I misunderstood what she said, because she said, I don't have a DDA one group list for emails. So I thought she was sending them individually. So I'll definitely follow through on that. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Barb, do we need a second call to the public just to confirm?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm sorry. I got to remember to put that on the list. We never did at DDA meeting.
Yeah, you can. You don't have to, but you can. I mean, it doesn't hurt.
I'll put it on the list,
so if there's anyone in the public that would like to address the DDA board at this time, please raise your hand and we will allow you to talk. I see 3 members of the public, and let's see. Denise, you have your hand raised, but none of the public have their hand raised.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick comment and say congratulations to Whitmore Lake for being the best lake in the Ann Arbor area. I think that's a huge compliment to us, and it's going to bring a lot of attention.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's awesome. Remember, Whitmore Lake is the cleanest, clearest lake in Southeast Michigan.
Definitely, and the largest lake in Washtenaw County.
Yep.
Very good. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
Miss Iaquinto has one more thing.
Sorry. Speaking of that, All Star Alarm won the best home security. It was put out by the Detroit Free Press.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got
local business.
One more add to Whitmore Lake. It's the largest natural body of water in southeastern Michigan.
Wow.
It's not fed by any rivers, streams. It's a natural body of water fed by 2 springs. So that goes along with what we got here.
That explains why it's clean.
We should make a commercial.
That explains why it's clean. You know, one of the cleanest, clearest lakes. It is the cleanest, clearest lake in Southeast Michigan. So, all right, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I guess it was Dignan and then Iaquinto. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks.
Good night.